But nah, it was in good taste, man. Whoever was offended, guess what? We don't give a fuck.
Yep, that's right.
Don't you worry about it, bitch. I know somebody like it.
That's a fact. See, that's why we need headphones so everybody can hear.
Because I'm sitting here like, what the hell he just hit? But you know, we just gonna imagine the best and keep it rolling.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry, we'll edit it out. Everybody will laugh. We'll be good. We'll be good. So, so we'll start at the top, man. One thing I mentioned in introducing Mod is, me and him worked on a lot of different projects together. One of my favorite people to work with, basically because me and him have the same, not the same personality, because we're actually polar opposites. When you put us in, if you put us in a room together, I'm normally reserved, chilling in the cut, and Mod's kind of out and mingling around.
Yo, what's up? How you been? How you, mama?
Everybody's a friend. Everybody's a friend. Mama? All that, but we had the same kind of, I think, philosophy when it comes to working, putting shit together, and creating shit. Kind of a no nonsense approach. Let's just get this shit done, no matter what. You know what I mean? So I say that to say, one of the things that you and I kind of came in, in the middle of it. One thing that you, Jazz, even Ice was able to create was YBR.
Yeah.
And for those who may not be from Savannah, that was a group that came out, did a lot of parties, a lot of community service as well. It wasn't just parties.
Yeah.
I learned that. But it was dope because niggas was young as fuck and really had the city on lock. I mean, a lot of shit didn't happen if it wasn't, if it didn't have that stamp. So kind of walk through that process, just the creation of it, where it kind of came from, and then how it kind of blew up to become what it was in that span.
So to start off, it's something I did an Instagram live with my line brother, and he told me that I'm what you would call a social entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And then it was funny, I did another podcast, shout out with one of my boys, Kyle in Charlotte, and he told me the same thing, that I'm a very reflective person. Mm-hmm. And so when I look back at YBR, it comes off as we were in college, we were having a good time, like me, Jazz, all this running together. We realized we're a good time, and when we get to the party, shit turns up. Mm-hmm. This is money that we're doing right now. We're making other people money. And then it turned into, hey, where y'all at tonight? Mm-hmm. Hey, what y'all doing tonight? Yep. Not even on no cocky shit, but just niggas hey, what y'all doing? Shit, if y'all going there, shit, we'll fuck with it. Mm. And I remember hitting up Jazz and Tyrone at the time was like, hey, we should do an entertainment group. We still parties. We going to these parties. We doing all this. We giving other people money. We having a good ass time. We on stage at every party. Back then it was cool to be on stage.
If you on stage, you was that guy.
Everybody couldn't be on stage in the club and in the party. So if you on stage, you had a little college clout to do things. And hey, we're gonna do an entertainment group. We're gonna get people together, and something is life is just really full circle. The thing about it is I didn't realize it, that now I'm accepting it, but I'm the connector friend. Mm-hmm. Because I'm an extrovert. I'm really outgoing.
The dot connector.
Dot connector.
But I'm realizing that because even with YBR, me and Jazz became friends in college. Me and Tyrone, we were friends since high school. But half of it was people that did not know each other. Mm-hmm. We was we're going to build a team, and half of everybody didn't know each other. It was just hey, me and Jordan are kind of cool from this. Let's call this person. Me and this person are cool from this. Jasmine's hey, well, I'm gonna bring on Shay, and I'm gonna bring on these people and this and the other. So, we were able to create a family, from there. And the thing was always, we don't want to be too money hungry. Everything that we're doing, our structure with parties was me, Jazz, and Demetrius were kind of running things. Yeah. So it was one half of it we're gonna split. Yep. The other half we're gonna open it up to the team. Yeah. Who's working, who's grinding, who's doing stuff. So it was usually Booby, Jordan. When Jamal, Stephen, when they came around. So it's we opened it up for the teams. When it's all said and done, Diamond as well. We wanted everybody to eat. And it wasn't let's not be selfish. We're going to throw these parties, have a good time.
We're not pocketing, exactly. It's enough to go around for everyone.
And that makes people feel appreciated. Because if it's just a party and everybody's oh, all y'all promote, do this, that, and the other.
No, we all working.
Yeah, everybody's working. So it worked. We had a good run. People got to put respect on our name. We were the first to throw a party at the American Legion.
Yeah,
that's pretty major. That's major.
And then the American Legion became.
That was actually a thing.
The Legion.
That was a thing. Because you remember the what party was that? The one on 17, at the VFW. Remember
Yeah,
that?
that
We the
was
first
band.
one.
Band.
Yep,
Band
band
party.
that
And we had
came.
the Click.
Yep, the Click shirts. First
Yeah.
ones do a party there. Niggas came after, got that shut down after. Same with the little spot in West Savannah. Remember?
Yeah,
I can't remember the name.
it was cool. It's kind of scattish.
Yeah, it was real scary. It was actually a real dope venue, to be
Yeah.
honest. But niggas came after that and shut down. So one thing that I did want to talk about before we really get into more current shit was the band party, because that's when I learned shit was real for real. Because you remember band came, me and you were kind of talking after the sophisticated ignorance party got shut down. Remember, and that was going to be at Tony's.
Can we talk shit right? I'm gonna talk some shit right quick.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. That's why I brought it up. Let's get this shit out.
Niggas did not like us.
Let's tell the story, because I don't know if the story ever really been told.
Was it a specific group?
Listen,
there was, and I'm not going to put any names out because I'm a different person now. And some of us have,
you're out of that space.
Yeah, we're out of that space, but it was blowed because like we were doing goods, and the thing is, I felt we underestimated ourselves because when we did our first big party, I put on a show at the American Legion. We had no idea what the outcome was going to be. So Uncle Mac, who was doing stuff at that time, Uncle Mac is actually my cousin on my dad's side.
Oh, Uncle Mac who?
He used to do parties and all that stuff.
Okay. I got an Uncle Mac. I was about to say, God damn, we related?
So now we cousins.
I might be. I just found out he cousins with my god sister. So.
Yeah.
That's
Ebony.
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
That's his
cousin.
We just found out.
Yeah, just
Small
find out.
Savannah,
Ebony
boy.
and me. Yeah, Ebony and
Small
me.
Savannah.
Like your friend, my cousin.
That's how that shit go.
Yeah, they're my people. Yeah.
So I feel like we underestimated ourselves when we did the I Put On a Show party because, like we said, we were just young. We wanted to have fun. Summer 2009, which is the best summer in history.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, we're gonna do a party at VFW. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do like little. And our promo videos were like really whack back then because back then we wasn't even trying to be fancy. We were just talking like, hey, come out.
Let's just get it out there.
Let's just get it out there.
The word.
And the impact from that party was like ridiculous. And we were just sitting there like, damn, people really like.
We didn't expect this shit.
People really fuck with us. So fast forward, I don't know when band was on our timeline of parties, but we did Sophisticated Ignorance. People called the police department. They said that we were drug dealers.
Fire marshal.
They called the fire marshal. I had people that worked at my godparents. One was in Metro, the other one worked for the county. So they were able to
kind of diffuse it.
This is what's going on, but it's like we shouldn't have to go through all of that. So after we didn't get a chance to do Sophisticated Ignorance, and we was blowed because niggas had all the grills, blazers. Like it was a dress up party. It was a really like kind of upscale venue, but it was gonna be ass being thrown.
Yep. The theme of the party was because it actually got birthed from that Kanye line. So when Kanye got the line Sophisticated Ignorance, right? My curses and curses.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I hit myself, yo, nigga, that's us. Like, we gonna get suited up, do all this shit, but we really ratchet as hell.
Right.
So that's the theme. And the party was gonna be on Black Friday. You know what I mean? Day after Thanksgiving, ain't nothing going on. People still here.
People looking for some shit to do. Exactly. Yeah, it's always that.
And that's where most of the time we ate was because of that. Niggas, Christmas night, day after Thanksgiving, it's nothing else to do. So why not? So
get tired of sitting in the house with their aunties. Man.
Yeah, man. So the parties at Tony's Steakhouse. I don't mind saying that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Mod called me with the bad news. Like, hey, we got shut down. I'm like,
pissed.
What the fuck you mean we got shut down?
I just got a call. The owner does not feel safe because they've been saying that this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Like, we've never really had any crazy shit happening in our thing. So
no, I think we had one fight.
We're like, next party. This is Christmas.
Yep.
We got to bounce back. And all of our parties had theme. What's going to be a theme of? Band.
They're
trying to ban us.
And that was dope. And again, it was dope. And see, this is what me and Ma really collabed the best. Like, coming up with these themes for certain shit. And Band was obviously based off of Michael Jordan.
The shoes,
with the ones.
Right.
Band. The whole commercial was Band. So what was ill about it, and to me, I still say this is probably one of the illest party promos I've seen. Not even being cocky, arrogant, or whatever, but what we did was the entire time we promoted this party, so from the beginning of December until Christmas Eve, we didn't tell anybody where that shit was at.
Yeah, location
we didn't say a word. We
kept it low.
We just said it's going to be a party on Christmas. We'll tell y'all where it's at.
Location drop Christmas Eve.
So we dropped it like, hey y'all, here go a little present.
So how was the turnout?
Pack the
Crazy,
bitch out,
right?
as usual.
Yeah.
I mean, that was never in question. it was a little risky though, and that's why it was fun for me. I'm a little crazy. When I tell you, I'm a little crazy, right? So I was like, nah, fuck.
But sometimes that's where you get your best rollouts when you keep things in the tuck, because you have people that's anticipating, and I know they're gonna do something. I know it's coming. We just got to sit back and wait.
It was crazy. Absolutely. And then we actually got the venue because I was working in the bank. I knew the guy that ran, who managed it. So he's coming on branch, and I was like, hey George, hey, me and my friends we throw parties. We're law-abiding citizens,
right?
Blah, 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 blah.
Upstanding young man.
Occasionally we get out of control, but
it was cool because from me just being cool with him, I knew their venue. It was kind of like nonprofit, so they weren't. And if when you learn those things, they only get money from like donations and that and other. The building wasn't getting a lot of money, and that was something they were trying to work on. How can we get more money in there? Say less.
What you want?
It's too easy.
Right? How much you need for us to rent out? That no problem.
Too easy.
No problem. No problem. Say less. So yeah, man. A lot of that shit, like I would run through I would call Ma, say, hey, I got an idea, and then we have a whole hour and a half conversation about, we could do this, we could do that. Like a lot of promo videos, a lot of T-shirt designs, kind of were birthed through those conversations, those text conversations.
Well, getting to know, kind of the cut in a little bit, getting to know Mod, from a distance, because we've had very little interactions with each other. But from my perspective, what I take away is that your passion is people.
Yeah.
What can I say? You're a social intellect. One way that I can put it, right? So a lot of success that you've had has come from like dealing with people and interactions. So my question to you is, the connections that you made in the past, how has that helped you with your success with like your new ventures?
With everything, I feel like connections are extremely important, because I preach, you never know who's going to be who. Who you are today is not who you're going to be tomorrow. So when you look like down the line, it's like, hey, like me and Boobie are just cool. We talked about like X, Y, Z. First of all, me and Boobie's grandmas are friends. Like my grandma and Boobie's grandma are friends. Yep. So I remember vaguely meeting Boobie. We were like kids,
real young,
years ago. Then we kind of circled back in college.
Circuit City. Let me tell you something, man.
Circuit City.
Because I got fired from Circuit City, and Ma kept his job.
Was this the one off of?
There's only one Circuit City.
Like over there by Hudson Memorial and all of that shit.
Yeah, right? It was only one in the city, but yeah, I worked Circuit City for about a month.
Now, Boobie lost his job, but Boobie also would clock out and fucking leave.
Everybody had one of those jobs, but it just felt like, man, I'm above all of this
Boobie
shit.
would leave work for 2 hours. Like, hey, I'm gonna get them J's.
They come back and
then he'd be like, text me if they looking for me.
I used to do that at that Walmart in Statesboro. Just leave. And I was a cashier. I just turned my light off.
Miles, he was in the back. Yeah. He was checking on something. Where's my phone? Miles.
Yeah.
Bring your ass.
Nigga, clock me in. Help, nigga.
Yeah, the boy got, I was talking as soon as the seasonal period was, because the funniest shit about it was like, they're
trying to keep seasonal people usually.
They do. And what they do is, so like when you're seasonal, they tell you just come to work in a red shirt. Just wear a red shirt, right?
That's it.
Cool. Well, when you get on, they give you the Circuit City shirt.
You probate, get your service.
You got probate in, right? So the funniest shit about it was like, I remember I came to work one day, and there was this, you might remember, it was a white lady, man. I couldn't stand her ass. She was fucking always snitching and shit. So she, I come in, I see her come peeking down the aisle, and she get running to the back. Then she came back and she said, hey, Dustin wants to talk to you.
I remember.
Oh, you fucking hall monitor, bitch.
Right, that's what I said. Frantic bitch. So I'm like, okay, cool. Me and Dustin cool. So I sit down, and Dustin like, Miles, he said, man, we really like you here, man.
Y'all
really,
don't.
We really enjoyed you. And blah, he said, hey, man,
past tense, right?
Yeah, everything was past tense. So I know what's going on. I said, Dustin, I'm fired. He was like, well, we're going to have to let you go. But remember we told you it was seasonal? I said, no, it's cool. It's cool. He was like, he said, now next year, seasonal, you want to come back, man? I'd love to have you back. I'm like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Call a spade, nigga. Stop beating around the bush.
Because I'm not going to put that on camera, But nah, anyway, long story short, the funniest part about it was when I was walking to the back, I started looking around. And one thing I am is observant. Everybody that's working there, they got on Circuit City shirts. Except me. I'm thinking, oh shit, they got my shirt in the back.
My shirt in the back.
But then I got like a realistic voice in my head. And it was like, nigga, they didn't ask you what shirt size you wear.
Nigga, you gone. Yeah, it's been real.
That was it. Packed that
It's
shit up.
been
Went on
real.
to the crib.
Now look at Circus City.
Yeah, closed. Should have kept it. Could have kept it, boy.
Now look at him.
See, wonder why. Stop playing with God's favorite. Keep playing with God's kids. See,
Yeah, you're anointed.
yeah. Of course.
Lift your hands right quick.
That's how it happens.
Y'all feel blessed?
That's how I feel about flying frogs. Them bitches gone.
They fired you?
Nah, I walked out. It was like, you know what? You don't have to
need
be
that
here if you
job.
don't want to.
If you got fired, you could tell us.
Nah, I ain't get fired. I said, well, I'll be here next week. He was like, oh no, we're letting you go. I said, no, for my check. So it was kind of like I quit.
That was a boss move.
I quit. It wasn't a boss move because I wasn't driving, so I had to walk to the McDonald's across the street.
I'm about to say at least Food Line. Just go walk around Food Line real quick.
Food line. It cost me like
I was
You
like-
should have went and caught you a movie.
I was like, Mom, nah, because the people that ran the movie was cool with flying frogs, so I ain't want to be in there. I was like, man, fuck all of y'all. So I was like, Mom, just come scoop me.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, just responding to your original question, I could just say, you treat everybody the same, like no matter like what anybody, you know, they're not marital, but like their financial status, like where they are in life, like just be cool with people. You never know like who's gonna be where, and it's like
Never know who knows who.
exactly, and that happened. So with me being an extrovert, like when I moved to Charlotte, I knew nobody. And I say that I knew two people. It was shout out G who looked out for me when I was there, but I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
These were friends of friends. So I can't tell you their mama's name. If I know you, I know your mama name.
Right.
At least a little bit of family stuff. Nah, I didn't know anybody. So it's like just going in, you know, connecting with people and just like putting myself out there and building those relationships. In the end, it just all worked kind of full circle because active, like I'm doing the Active Dad brand. That was something I wanted to do. Actually, when I was in Savannah, I wrote it out in my journal. Like do this, like start a dad group. Hell, niggas gonna have kids. Yeah. So I could have just like spoke to you a little bit, and then like 2 years down the line, you're like, hey, bro, I might have a baby. I got a kid. I got this. So like overall, just like making and having those beneficial conversations has helped me. Because I always tell people, you don't have to be the best at anything. Be likable.
Right.
Just be likable.
Be relatable.
Yeah, be likable, be relatable. I don't kiss somebody's ass, but if we got a small thing in common, like I learned this on the corporate side, like we got a small thing in common.
Tap
like,
into
you're
it.
like, hey, your daughter goes to dance class. All right, my daughter goes to dance class. Every blue moon, how's dance class going for you?
Tap into it. Yeah.
And it's funny, I just got promoted on my job, and the manager that promoted me, because since we're virtual right now, nobody's really seeing each other face to face.
Right.
He remembers when we were talking in the office because his son was in the marching band. I would just say little small stuff. Oh, I was in the marching band. What'd you do? Drumline. Oh, okay, cool. So
Yep, absolutely. That's one of the things.
That's how relationships grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just some small talk.
Networking, man. Learn how to network. And I think it's important to have friends you can learn from. That's one thing I picked up.
Yeah.
Was like how to do that. Because I'm naturally, and we talked about it here before, it's funny that I'm doing shit like podcasts and that kind of shit.
because he don't like people.
Because I really don't like, and it's funny because, people, and I say it all the time, people think that's just some shit that like I just say. Like, but I'm really not a fan of people. Like,
I hear that a lot too. Like, Swar, you the nicest asshole that I know. And I was like, okay. He was like, you're not a people person, but you're social as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I can move, and I know how to, and I can turn that switch on. But I really, and that's why I wanted to get a situation where I have like one of my real close friends, besides just you being here, but like one of my close friends who know me, and they can actually vouch for. I don't.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I really don't at all. I really don't fuck with people. Like, so if I fuck with you, if I talk to you, if I text you, call you, hang out with you, I really fuck with you.
Then you in good company.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
I was just talking with Doug, who lives in Charlotte. Doug's very introverted. I won't say he doesn't like people. He's just not like really out there like that. But he's extremely successful entrepreneur, business wise. He has residential properties, commercial properties, and he's been doing this before it became the wave. He's been doing this for a while. And
he was quarantining before it became a thing.
Yeah.
So
he was telling me like, a lot of people that I'm meeting, they're saying like, you need to put yourself out there more because he's real chill. And he was like, I don't really know. I said, hey, just invite me out.
And I'll handle the rest.
You want to go to the networking mixer?
Yeah.
Cool. Invite me. I'll get out there.
I'll mingle for
We're
you.
gonna feel what people doing. Oh, hey, this is my boy Doug.
Yeah.
Doug, this is so and so. Y'all chop it up. And it's something that I didn't really know it wasn't a some people consider it a skill. Like me and my best friend Ashley were just talking. She always tells me like that's a skill.
It's fact.
How you
Definitely
can work
is,
rooms
yeah.
and talk with people. I'm actually in the process of coming up with like a virtual. It's going to be a master class it's called serial networking, like to really treat people. Because she's been telling me for the longest, like, Ma, if I could just talk to people how you could, like that'll really help. That would help me because I'm an introvert. So that's something that I do have in the works for later on in the year. It's like just a online course. Because what I'm learning now with the wave that everybody's on, we're trying to make money when we sleep.
Yeah.
What's something that you can do and just be downloadable?
Yep. Absolutely.
I think people struggle with just that skill because they're so worried about how people perceive them.
Yeah.
In the back of their head was like, well, I wonder how they took this, and well, did I say the right thing or did I move the right way? Sometimes, man, you got to black out all of that shit and just move, kind of like how you do.
Just find your talent. I think that one thing that one of my favorite, everybody knows I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, and Jay-Z has a lot of dope quotes and that kind of thing. And one thing he said was that he doesn't believe there's anything such as a chosen one. Like everybody has like God-given ability, and your life's purpose is to tap into whatever that is, cultivate it, and allow you to prosper from it. Right.
Correct.
So if you have an ability like mine, where you can network, you can build people gravitate towards you based off not anything you're doing that's extra, not you being fun, just you being you. You know what I mean? That's something you should cultivate and kind of, and use to your advantage. Because, again, that's a God-given gift.
Yeah.
It's like LeBron James or Kobe with basketball. Like, this is what he gave you. He gave you this ability. He gave you this drive, this hunger to be
that
great.
one up on everyone else.
Take that. Imagine if LeBron said, don't know about basketball. You know what I really like doing, though?
Painting.
I like to paint.
He had a commercial. You saw that commercial that he put out? Like, what would I be doing if I didn't grind as hard?
Right.
And they had him doing like a little salsa dance class and everything.
I remember that.
Saw that shit, right?
Nigga boogieing. Imagine if Kobe never picked up a basketball. Like, man, my daddy hoop, man. I ain't trying to do that.
Right.
I'm in fucking Italy. I'm about to make pizzas.
Pasta or some shit like that.
Fucking Kobe pasta.
He probably give us a mean ass pasta though.
Nah, that shit probably slap.
It probably hit.
Yeah. So real quick, man, let's run through because I promise y'all we're gonna get through the shits, man. But I did want to get to this background. So I know you got a lot of upcoming projects, a lot of things you're working on. I don't want to be the one to spoil it, so I want you to kind of get into it, man. So you got a lot of things you're working on, man. Talk to the people, let them know what you got going on.
So yeah, things that I currently have in the works right now is July is usually like a break month for me. I adapted that when I did Project Inspire. We would always take July off to brainstorm and really just on some mental health stuff, just really trying to get into that space because when you're trying to be creative, you don't always feel creative. So you kind of got to get into a routine and you kind of got to do things that are going to get you where you want to be. So with the fall, I'm slick mad that big sister Delta variant COVID done came in this shit.
Big sis.
Big sister Delta variant COVID done came in this shit right now.
Big nasty bitch.
Very filthy. But she's kind of messed up things because things were going good. It's like, outside is open. I was supposed to do a My Daddy and Me brunch last year. We had to postpone it. COVID happened. Then like now, COVID throwing ass in a circle again right now. So
niggas catching that shit too.
Yeah,
boy.
so like the physical things right now isn't really, I'm not really trying to mix. And then when you have kids, you don't want to have kids out.
Right.
And do stuff like that. So navigating a virtual space, I will be like hosting a couple of like Instagram lives, like one of them, because as you got, well, for everyone that's listening, I have an organization, Active Dad, and it's basically my focus now is creating fatherhood community.
Okay.
At first it was let's change the narrative, and show that black men do exist and we're doing our job, which I feel society's kind of twisting right now. We're seeing a whole lot more of that.
Yeah.
Right.
From past experiences, I'm seeing that the importance of anything is going to be community, because if you create dad community, from that is going to blossom relationships and you can do whatever you want to do. Right. With that. I did a virtual summit a couple of months ago. 75 guys registered, like 40 were actually on the Zoom call with us. A really, really good turnout. So what we have coming up is some more virtual events. One is going to be balancing it all with fatherhood and just some guys that I know that are like serial entrepreneurs, but they still have kids.
Right.
That's
so like,
dope.
how do y'all balance? Because I only have 2 kids. I work a 9 to 5. I do little stuff on the side. Yeah. And I'm struggling.
Now, how do you find that balance though? Because I just heard you speak on balance a little bit, but how do you maintain, that family life as being a father, a husband, but also, looking into these other ventures?
To be completely honest, it's
Help me out at least.
I honestly,
that's something me and you talked about a lot before you had kids.
Yes,
You talked about
already struggling before the kids came.
Yeah, balance. That was a key word.
To be completely honest, I feel that balance is something that you're going to be working on 24/7.
Right.
Balance for August may not be balanced for September.
Yep.
And I struggle a lot. I those follow me like on Instagram, like I try to be very transparent about my process. Like if I'm in a down moment, sometimes I'll post about it, not for attention, but I feel like the internet's so superficial and everybody wants to be perfect all the time.
Right.
Like, let's talk about these down moments.
Yeah,
So,
you're gonna see the highs and the lows.
Yeah, you gonna catch all this shit.
And it's almost like a release for you as well, too, to kind of get it off of you.
Yeah.
Right.
So just with finding balance, man, I think the main thing is just doing what works for me, in that moment. And if it's not working, just going back to the drawing board. I was trying to get some things together and I couldn't. I told myself, just chill, because you know how it is. Like when you have kids and all that stuff, it's like this. And I had to improve my routine. Yeah, because I got a different job and my workload increased. So I was like, how can you possibly do this? And I realized for me, when I go to the gym in the mornings, that really gets me going. Okay. When I just wake up and start my day, like it's cool, but once I go to the gym and like all of that is released and I'm just like my body's pumped, it allows me to kind of carry that energy
throughout the rest of the day.
Throughout the day. Yeah. So just really doing that, coming up with a schedule. Ebony's really supportive of everything that I do. So I'll be like, hey, like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm gonna work out when I get off work. Right. That way I can do that, then do whatever. So in the mornings, I'm like brainstorming and finding stuff. So just really just doing what works for you, but just being flexible.
We had a conversation about that a couple of weeks ago on the pod, as far as when you're chasing your goals and your dreams. Yeah. Just having that support system who understands what you're dealing with. Yeah. Yep. Because sometimes a lot of people, they find themselves in relationships where their partner doesn't necessarily understand what they're striving towards. Yeah. And that's where the conflict happens. But, you just having a strong backbone within Ebony to kind of understand what you're trying to fulfill, not only for you, but for the family as well. So that's very helpful, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is.
And that's one thing that, we also talked about with that, that same convo was that, kind of you got that track record, right? Of, all right, look, I know this shit sounds crazy. But
hear me out.
Hear me out.
Hear me out.
Remember that last thing that sounded crazy?
Remember how long we ate off of that shit? Yeah, that was a bag, wasn't it?
Remember that?
Now look at what I'm doing.
Remember that vacation we took? Remember you know what I'm saying? What you got off that? Just trust me. So I think that's also important, man. So again, balance has been key. And it's funny, like I said, me and I remember I text Ma, this was years ago. This was before Ma had kids, all this shit. We were fresh out of college. And I remember saying, like, one thing they never teach you in college is how to fuck you balance life after. Right. Because there's so much shit you got. Like, college, you got free time. But post-college, like, it's so much you're trying to do. So many things moving in your mind, especially when you're a certain type of person. Mm-hmm. Like, so many things you got going on that you're trying to actually, like, cultivate and put out there in the universe that, how do I have time for this 24 hours in a day? It's really like, how the fuck does Oprah do this shit?
That's $1 million question.
Like, how? They say we got the same 24 hours, but they billionaires. They must pay for 2 more hours a day or something.
No, it's called assistance. It's called assistance, right?
Yeah, right. It's a team, honestly.
But that's I'm happy you said that's why. That's another thing. I don't like asking for help. That's
a pet peeve.
We in a therapy, but it's like trauma shit that my therapist helped me. Yeah. My therapist has helped
because you never know. You ask for help and they use it against you.
And you ask for help, and it's like, if it's not done this way, so like my therapist, like she would really tell me, like, you got to be more comfortable. So what I do now,
it's the perfectionist in you almost.
Yeah. So what I do now, like within my working space, I communicate that with people I work with. Mm-hmm. I'm building a team right now with the guys who are Active Dad. And Broderick's part of the team. Broderick knows me better than anybody else on the team. He's not gonna ask for help. So they're like, hey, what you need help with? Like, what do you want to do? What are the things that you want to go from there? Right. So I'm learning through the process of balancing everything out. Is don't be afraid to ask for help. Just go. Sometimes you're not going to really know where this is going, but like just keep doing it, and everything's going to make sense. Like for example, I told myself by the summer I was going to finish a book. One of my friends, Kyle, he's an Arthur coach. I'm a part of his program. I got all these tools to do everything, but life happens and everything. So then I shifted my focus. And I was like, you know what? You're like writing this book, which is going to take a good time. I'm I'm really big on motivation. I'm really big on guys, mental health type stuff. How about you write a dad formations book? Because you're doing this shit every day. Like, you know what it is. Like, so for the past month, every morning I wake up, I write down like, what is something you need to hear right now? And because of Active Dad and the conversations I'm having with other guys and guys that are fathers, is like, oftentimes, like, I feel like we're overlooked. When you look at parenting, it's like, mom needs support, mom needs that, mom and that, and dad is just like, I looked up.
It's last on the list almost.
I looked up online things that mom need, things that mothers need, and it was like a list came up. It was like, they need this.
Almost like a gift registry, right?
I did the same exact. Like, they need support on this, they need more, they need like all of these things, which I'm not discrediting anybody that's a mom, but then I did the same, I searched the same thing on Google, like things for guys that are fathers, and gifts came up, like for Father's Day.
Yeah.
I'm looking
I
for.
thought he was gonna say a pat on the back or something.
I'm looking
like
for
that.
emotional stuff, and it's saying, get him a wallet,
Yeah.
get this, get
A
that. And I'm just
nice
like,
tie.
I'm like, that just shows. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a dad affirmations book just for guys to wake up and just, because I actually read an affirmations book a couple months ago, and it was really, really good. And I was like, you know, just I try to tailor things for what my life looks like right now. Like, let's do this because you know what guys need to hear.
Right.
And yeah, so the affirmation dropping this fall.
Okay.
By the way,
Gunshots. An exclusive right
Man, round of applause, man. So
On the
dope.
Untitled Pod.
Let's get some music, man. Let's
here.
have some music real quick,
Go
man.
ahead and introduce it for us.